been joined by former England international, former Arsenal legend Sol Campbell, former Trinidad and Tobago assistant coach not too long ago. Sol, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, Sean. Thank you.
Good. So there's some new development. I think one which you're quite excited about. It's obviously going to be for the Caribbean as well, where you've taken up an invitation to come on board with the Barbados Challengers for the Islands Cup Open in 2021. Tell us about this and how this came about.
Well, it actually came about by William Gallas, who might be one of the player coaches. He messaged me about just over a week ago. And he said, "Oh, so this situation, you fancy getting involved?" Then I kind of text back again. I said, "Well, yeah, it sounds interesting. I'm from the Caribbean. Family is. I think there's a big opportunity there to kind of coach and get some interesting players in your team. It's for like 4 months, just under 4 months. So have a look at it." So I started looking into it. I spoke to Yusuf as well. He was dealing with it. He was kind of getting the talent, and then we just gone from there. Now I'm speaking to Chris, which he's organising everything, and I'm excited. It's nice how it's just kind of falling into place. It's quick. Football's always quick. When it needs to be done, it gets done, and I'm happy to be a part of it. Then I got involved Andy Cole as well, because he's my striker kind of coach when I'm working in Europe. So yeah, I feel great about it. It's fantastic. I think it's very interesting that a league is trying to kind of get it together with the islands. I know it's going to start. It has to start off, in a small and slow, but hopefully it be successful. I'm sure of that, and it's good to promote talent within the region, which I think is very important to progress the football, the quality level. Have some coaches come in with different ideas, but to move it in the right direction and have youngsters believing that there is a career in front of them in football in the Caribbean.
That's good to hear. So talking about the fact that it's an opportunity to give the youngsters a platform where they can see the possibilities that there is in the sport. You had an opportunity handed over to you by Dennis Lawrence, the former Trinidad and Tobago coach, not too long ago, maybe a couple of years ago, and you were here in Trinidad, observing the works of the dynamics of football in the region, within Concacaf as well. How would you say that period would have helped you or served in opening your eyes a bit to more of football in the region outside of Europe?
Well, I think really it's given me a great basis because I know what's there. I know the talent's there. I know what the pitches are like. I know the training facilities. I know the environment. I know the crowds. I know I know the flamboyance about it as well. But also there is a fine balance between flamboyance and discipline, which you have to get right. That's the fine balance to get the best out of the players. But the main thing, I know the environment because I've been over there. I played various teams around there, various countries, and I've enjoyed myself. But the main thing is I've got the experience to kind of understand what is required. And it's a fine balance. It's fine balance. You have to make sure you get that balance between fun, enjoying your football, and also discipline. You have to get it right, especially in the Caribbean. And then the flamboyance of the skill, the kind of showing what you can do, to harness that and understanding when to use it and when not to use it. That's the finding the balance between, the offensive and defensive kind of situation.
When you look back at that World Cup campaign with Trinidad and Tobago, you came in during the Hex under Dennis. You got some massive games under your belt, the likes of Mexico, USA away, also Panama as well. That first victory. When you look back at that whole experience, how do you reflect on it? What stands out for you?
the beautiful football is played around the world, but the environments obviously are different. You know, yes, football is the same, but the environments, the crowd, the smells, the heat, on a regular basis. So that all of a sudden changes your mood, how you go out to train, how you train how you train the guys as well, because you can't do too much because of the heat and things like that, and then the downpours. You got to find that balance. But for me, just playing those big games and seeing the players who are, some were playing abroad, but a lot of them are local, going toe to toe with some of the biggest players around the world. Especially Mexico and America. Mexico, the first game in Trinidad and Tobago, really, we got a disallowed goal, which was a goal. Jervin Jones was onside when he scored. That could have easily changed the game against Mexico. So for me, the beautiful thing about working in the Caribbean is the football. The talent is vast. It just needs to be channeled in the right way.
Yeah. And now, with the Islands Cup open, you're seeing this as a wonderful opportunity for these kids in the region to have that door to Europe, to South America, to some of the bigger leagues, and you now being able to be part of this whole process to harness this talent. How much do you look forward to that?
Yeah, big time, big time. For me, it's just the bridge between the Caribbean. Yes, you want to make sure the Caribbean has a stable kind of cup, a stable league, the foundation. So you need the foundation. So if you get the foundation right, you can build on top of that. You can build, players can come from, start at 10 years old, go through to 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and then, maybe, move abroad. And if you can get that on a regular basis, players going into the MLS or go to South Central or South America or Europe, then the clubs will start to have a little bit of revenue, because they might get a player, through the ranks, and then all of a sudden sell them for, big money to somewhere in Europe or somewhere in the Americas. And that money can come back, funnel back into the league or back into that particular club, and then they can grow. That's how you have to look at it. There's so much talent. It just needs to be harnessed. It needs that proper system, proper training program around them to really kind of allow them to realize their dreams. And if you get it right with the talent in there, and I know there's talent in the Caribbean, across the Caribbean, you can have your crowd and your tendencies at your local club, but then you can have a second plan about selling players at the right time to kind of reintroduce that money back into the club, to grow the club and grow. And the club's about community. That club starts growing, and that can connect with the community, and then they have more affiliation with football, that particular area, and they can do more fundraising. They can help in the community for all different kind of situations, and that's what it's all about. To be able to have that, playing football, but then the football club is a part of the community as well, eventually.
Yeah, definitely. So while there's still that need for more opportunities for black managers, in recent times we've seen the emergence of persons like yourself, Andy. Thierry Henry is now in the MLS based in Canada. Patrick Vieira has been up there as well. What are you seeing in terms of some sort of movement with regards to that? Are you seeing that? And also, what has it been like working with Andy Cole and that combination?
Am I seeing that on a big wave, a big kind of push? Not completely yet. I'm not seeing it yet. Maybe once this COVID scenario is kind of calmed down and it becomes a little bit, there's a little bit normality going on here, then let me see what can happen. I can understand people don't want to move people too much now because of the situation, and they haven't got vision, haven't got sight of attendances and things like that, which most club owners need to come in to help boost the revenues of the club and to be able to pay wages and things like that. So I've not seen a massive movement yet. And hopefully there is a movement once it starts. Once we have a clear picture of what football looks like in in 3 or 6 months' time, and then we see if there's a bit of movement, if there's a bit of mental change, psyche change. The psyche has to change. The intelligence of people writing about black managers has to change. That there are, as if we are some type of, we can't run a club or whatever, we don't know what we're doing. That's just absolutely ridiculous, because you've got to have that opportunity to kind of showcase your stuff. But you can't judge players on 1 or 2 clubs or 3 clubs, 4 clubs. You got to judge the players of these black managers who get an opportunity, and you need an opportunity to kind of to fail, to succeed. To all these things, you need to. You can't be put under pressure to get one job. It has to work out. Everything has to work out. You got to win the league. You win the cup. You got to be unbelievable. Come on, that's just like you have to give the same opportunity as if the next man. You can't expect everything in 1 year. That's not going to happen. You need to grow. You need to give that guy a chance, and don't judge a black manager on 2 jobs or 3 jobs or 4 jobs. That's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Working with Andy Cole, working with Andy Cole is fantastic. He's one of the best strikers ever in the Premier League, and definitely one of the best in the world in front of goal, and he's a great guy. He's got a passion for coaching, and for me, as a strike coach, I love that. He knows what to do. I love just giving him the midfielder, attacker midfielders, and the forwards and the wingers, and just kind of let him do his stuff, because the information, the nuggets of information he can give these guys, it's just it's boundless. It's boundless. He has so much to offer football. So much to offer football. Just strip away the colour who he is, and just see what he's done in his football career. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, you can't. He's one of the best ever worldwide. Worldwide.
Definitely.
Forget colour, forget strip away. Just look at what he's done, and it's just then I have to stop talking.
Yeah, you're right. And again, in relation to having the presence of people like him and yourself in the Caribbean, it's going to be massive. And how much are you looking forward to interacting and actually meeting up now with fellow coaches, fellow players in the region who will be looking forward to this opportunity? How do you prepare for something like this?
Yeah, for me, open book. Obviously, with my tactical stuff, it might be a little bit closed book with just my team, but open book. I want to learn from other guys. You can learn from training sessions from other guys. You can learn. It's good to learn from because there'll be a mixture of locals and some players coming from from around the world playing as well. You can learn a little bit from what the players. There could be some African players coming. They might have played in France all their lives and things like that, or there might be some Brazilians or whatever. You can absorb all this information and take it. But for me, open. That's what it's all about. Being open book and understanding talent is everywhere. It comes in different shapes and sizes and different colors. And everyone's had a different kind of pathway. They might have similar, but everyone's unique. And that's what I want. I want that to be unique. I want to take in. I want to absorb. And that's how you learn and grow as a manager. First, as a manager for myself, and also as a player. Imagine a player, some of the local players and someone maybe coming over who's had experience in Europe comes and trains. I think if you're a young player in that particular team and you're not absorbing and especially if that player is maybe in your position or maybe not in your position, you're not absorbing or asking questions about this and that. That's how you get better. Don't be too kind of stuck up and saying, "Oh, I'm too kind of proud. I don't want to ask any questions because I've made it." No, you're not made it. Ask questions. I was asking questions when I was 30, plus still playing football. That's what in the Caribbean has to get better. Ask questions. Don't be humble and ask questions of guys who've done it on the highest level or semi-high level. Ask them. You can absorb all information. Don't block yourself off that. be open. Be open to what that guy who's training with you side by side for 3-4 months, or the manager. If someone like me has played World Cups, European Cups for my country around the world, best team World Cup player twice and best European Cup player twice. Leagues undefeated in. I've played. Around the world in Europe at the highest level. And consistency. What I can give these young boys, is unbelievable. You just take one nugget and you take it and you kind of harness it and you keep it and you grow from it. That's what it's all about. Don't waste this opportunity. Just play and don't ask questions. That's what I found a little bit in the Caribbean. You got to ask questions. If someone comes in at this kind of level, what's the word for just training? Don't ask questions. Ask questions and be humble about it, because I'm open. I want to, partake. I want to, unleash all my talent so you can become better players. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, I can't disagree with you there at all. I can recall while you were in the Trinidad and Tobago camp, you were open. Dennis got you involved as best as he could. There was a period where there was evident progress within the team. Obviously, it didn't work out the way we all wanted. But again, I'm sure that is one of the experiences that will go down in your books as you move forward in your career. I want to touch on something here in terms of getting your perspective as to how important is it for countries like Trinidad and Tobago, Jamaica, you've had Haiti as well, who's been doing well. And now we're seeing the emergence of countries like Curacao to continue steady progress and be able to challenge the higher rated teams in Concacaf, such as the Mexico's, Costa Rica, USA's, when it comes to World Cup qualifying and just basically being respected on the international stage.
Well, I think this kind of Island Cup is going to help for sure. It's a long process. Some of the other countries have invested in, the governments have invested into the football team, and they've got a training camp and things like that. Like say Costa Rica. I remember finding out that the government invested with their FA in, first of all, they did the stadium and then they did the training ground, things like that. So they got a hub. So everyone can go there and really concentrate on their football, and the women allowed in there as well. So for me, that's very important, to get a training hub that you can. It doesn't matter how big or how small, 2, 3, 4 pitches or whatever, but nice kind of area to kind of change, and it's almost like an oasis. And that's for me, that's key. Each country, each island should look to do that in the future. Or if you can't do it now, have a plan to kind of end up there. It's okay in the plan. Doing a plan doesn't cost money, but physically doing it, you've got some type of pathway to, maybe this is where we want to end up. Some type of headquarters on the islands, so it's focus. Sometimes it could be a mixture for sports as well. Sometimes it can't be solely football. The women's can get involved as well. So if you can get a hub that does maybe the main, say, 2-3 sports of that particular island, and everyone can share that, I think that's more palatable for maybe the government or the FAs to come in, or associations to kind of create that. I think that's important, and it's like an anchor for all the islands. And then you can progress and start to train up. You can get the youngsters through. You can invite coaches like me to do like weekly or 2 weeks kind of things there, that kind of stuff, and you become a hub. And then maybe I don't know, maybe some of the Americans maybe want a summer place to train, and they come over. You can watch the manager train or things. All that, it becomes a hub, and that's what I feel is important and is needed, and going forward will definitely help the Caribbean long term, and to kind of have that real seriousness about the football.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there. Obviously, you might be aware that with regards to Trinidad and Tobago, that development center, that Homo football, is somewhat completed now. Unfortunately, because of the current situation, it's not fully functionable. But this is something that we're working on, and hopefully it will add to the development of football.
Yeah, so you understand how important. So if each island had that, it could be two pitches or whatever, it gives you an anchor to go on. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And also it's the maintaining. You got to maintain it as well. That's very important.
Yeah,
Maintaining the training
it
pitches.
can't be a one-off of you just putting up the structure. It must
Yeah,
be consistent input into what it takes.
sustainable. You're
Right.
sustainable, so
Right.
people look after it going forward. 5, 10, 15, 20 years
Yeah,
plus.
definitely. So, what has it been like for you dealing with this pandemic now? Obviously, you're not accustomed being locked up, not being able to be on the pitch, but what has it been like for you guys across in the UK having to deal with this?
It's been odd. It's been strange. I'm not going to tell you a lie. I think everybody's been in the same boat. I think some countries have handled it better than others. Um, but it was the Premier League got through it with unscathed. Okay, it's different with no fans. Of course, we want fans. Of course, we want the crowd. You need that. Um, I think some players have actually enjoyed not having crowds. And then others probably need that kind of knife edge kind of feeling when they're on the pitch. You know, so it's been interesting how different players have handled this period. Some obviously have not handled it well, and others have gone on with it and got on with the job, and their clubs have got on with the jobs and they've got through it, and they're starting again now. So, and then hopefully, crowds will come back. They will allow crowds to come back to add that level because as you go lower in some of the divisions, they really need that tendency. They really need the gate receipts coming in to help the club. Maybe higher up, Premier League, some Championship probably can survive a little bit longer with no crowds or atmosphere, that type of atmosphere. But you go to League One, League Two, the old Division Three, old Division Four, they really need that consistent, every week or every other week, the home crowds coming in and they're getting that revenue stream from the turnstiles. So it's been difficult. People have handled it. Not everyone's handled it great, but I think we've clubbed together to kind of see it through.
Yeah, definitely. Have you sort of put something in place? What is your program going to look like ahead of the new season? How do you try to get things ready for the football season coming up?
So for me, it's all about. It's difficult now. I can't watch games unless it's on TV. I want to watch games live. I want to watch training as well. I can't watch other people train. It's very difficult. So you kind of really stuck at the moment. You really are stuck, and you're going over. You're going over reminiscing and you're going over past training sessions you've done and notes and just trying to kind of refresh your mind on scenarios, go through scenarios and refresh your mind and then watch a lot of football programs, try to watch the games, but reflecting, not reflecting on what I did and what I didn't do. That's important to kind of do that going forward when you can't get out to watch other games and watch training, because I like to go maybe 2, 3, 4 days or 5 days over to a team that I want to kind of watch. I watch them, train, and maybe they've got a game, and then I watch how the game goes and see how it all gets transferred, the training session, and then maybe if I can get a second game in midweek, it's good to see how they train up to the first game and then decelerate and get ready for the midweek game. That's interesting for me to see that like a proper week. So I can't do that. And I can't wait to get back to doing those kind of things, because that's when you take your notes and that's when you learn. So when I'm not working, I'm learning, and that's what I want to do.
I can't disagree there again with you. Um, Good start for Arsenal so far this season. One trophy in the cabinet already.
Yeah. I mean, the FA Cup and the charity sealed. It's always good to have start off on a good note. It's just gotta, it seemed to have got the team working as a unit and want to work. Yes, they're not gonna win every single game, but they're definitely trying to kind of move in the right direction. And to be honest, it's all about really getting in the Champions League. It's going to be tough. Everybody always wants to get in the Champions League, but if that's something that they've got to aim for, that's something they're going to aim for sure. But it's going really well. I think the young players have come in. They've really worked extremely hard. And I'm happy. You know, I'm happy where they are at the moment, and it's just it's exciting to see where they can go from here. Where can sometimes young players are fearless and they just go for it, and it's nice to see. But then also they need a few old heads around who can kind of steady the ship at the same time. So finding that balance, which it seems to be finding that balance, is good.
Sol, it's been an absolute pleasure again speaking with you. Always been a pleasure. We want to thank you for this opportunity. And we look forward to having you return to these shows in 2021.
Yeah, thank you, Sean. Thank you very much. I'm all up for it. I just can't wait.
All right, perfect.